Okay, so in this question, what we want to do is work out what the lower bound is for A from this equation. A equals V minus U over T. And we're given that V equals 8.92 to 3 significant figures. U is 5.34 to 3 significant figures. And T equals 1.2 to 2 significant figures. So with that information, what can we deduce? So we want to find the lower bound, so therefore we're working on the fact that these three numbers have been rounded up in some kind of way or rounded down. So what could V possibly have been? Well, if it's been rounded to 8.92 to 3 significant figures, then V could have been somewhere, let's put V in here, so it could have been 8.925 or just below, and 8.915 or just above. So if I put that here, that's my range for V, and 8.925, so somewhere in between there. Now what about my U? Similar kind of thing going on, 5.34, so that would have had some boundaries having been rounded, 5.345, and somewhere from the lower end of 5.335. So that would be that, so somewhere in that range. And then T to 2 significant figures, so my T will be a little bit different in my rounding estimations. So a higher bound would have been 1.25 and my lower would have been 1.15. So that would get me back to 1.2, roughly in that range. Okay, so now I need to find out what A could be with this information from here. Now what have I got to do here with my V and U and my T? So to find the smallest number, what I need to do is to find what the biggest value is for my denominator, because the bigger the number I divide by, the smaller my number for my answer. So my maximum value for T was 1.25. Now what I've got to do here is get a smaller possible number, because if I divide a small number that's above by something that's above 1, it's going to get even smaller. So what's the smallest I can make this V minus U? Well, what I want is the minimum value for V and subtract that from the maximum value for U. That will make it the smallest. So then for V I'd want 8.915 and then subtract the maximum for U, which is 5.345. Okay. Now all I've got to do now, if I'm happy with those numbers, is just work out what I've got. So let's do this without a calculator. So 8.915 minus 5.345, subtract those. 5 minus 5 is 0. 1 minus 4, can't do. Let's take off a 9 to give a 1 and borrow that. 11 minus 4 is 7. 8 minus 3 is 5. Bring down the decimal point. And 8 minus 5 is 3. So now I've got 3.57 divided by 1.25. Okay. Right. Now what can we get out of that? What's that going to give me? So here I'm going to use a calculator. So then I'm going to give me 2.85. So my lower bound for A is going to be 2.856. Let's put that there and declare that as my answer. Okay.